I don't know how to start this. Are you angrier than most? I came up with that title and I was wondering, how do you explain anger? How do you let people know that it could be controlled? Let me explain to you what anger is. Imagine you're quieter than most, right? You're dominant, and because you're kind, you get used a lot. You get walked on over and over again. Everybody has their breaking point. But what's one's breaking point if they have the tendency of being okay with everything? Let's say your breaking point is you are a man. And as a man, you do manly stuff. You take care of a woman, you are financially there for her, you are physically there for her, you are emotionally there for her, and she just keeps on taking and taking and taking. You ask her to marry you, and then she marries you. But within the marriage, she cheats on you. She doesn't really do womanly stuff, whatever you guys talked about, right? Whatever her position is within the foundation. She doesn't do that, but you keep doing you. And then now you're in debt, right? You're in debt. And she keeps saying, no, I want and I want and I want. But you're like, no, we're going into debt. We need to calm down. And she's like, I'm going to leave you if you don't give me these things, right? And you get angry. Anger, a feeling. Is it still a feeling once it turns into action? You turn into an abusive human being. Society will not see you as a good man anymore. But you feel as though you're still a good man. Why is that? Well, it's simple. It's because you are. But at this moment, you are an abuser. You are seen as an abuser. And that's a no-no. That's a no-no-no. You forgot to count. Like I always tell my daughter, you have to count when people try you so you don't, change. So, you forget to calm down. You lash out. Let's say now that you get arrested because you lashed out. She explains her side of the story that she was tired of your abusive ways. Now, to you, how can you explain? You're a man. How are you going to explain to people that, well, I married someone who took so much out of me and I just lost control? They'll be like, so you married a woman, because that's society. You married a woman, she wants things from you and you can't provide it, hence you lash out. Narcissistic man, here we go again, right? Let's flip the story around. And this, I can speak personally of that because it happened to me. Now, you're a man, you meet a woman and she's a giver. And she gives and she gives and she gives. She understands your position in the marriage. You understand yours. She does everything that she's supposed to do. And she even does your part. Right? Right. Now, she feels, what's very funny about this, the man is the abuser this time around, right? The woman gives and gives and gives. Why is the man seen as the abuser? Because in the first story, the man was being abused, but in my mind, for some reason, I don't see the woman as the abuser. In the second story, obviously, right? He's the abuser. Because he's the man. And so, I got angry. And I too became abusive. Not physically to him. I broke things and I lashed out. Anger. Anger. Until one day I was like, I'm gonna go now. I don't like being angry. I didn't go to jail. Obviously, I never physically touched him, but the man in the first story never physically touched her. But no one, I didn't even think about it. We just see an abuser. We see a man lashing out. We see an abuser. We see a woman lashing out. We see an angry woman. Anger. Are you angrier than most? And how can we fix it? Hi, my name is Carol. Welcome to Carol's Kebab, where we talk about our mental state and how we can fix it. I have read several books. My favorite ones are surrounded by narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, and idiots. How do we control ourselves? Number one, stop getting used. And if you feel like that's the only thing you can offer, the fact that you are usable, you can be useful, but usable is quite different than being useful. Number two, satanama. And if you are not religious, spiritual, religiously, like Jesus said, turn the other cheek. It does not mean literally turn your cheek and let someone slap you. No, it means go, walk away. Think about it, And if you are a physicist, a pessimist, a atheist, 1, 2, 3, 4, count. How do we stop time right before the moment you get quote unquote abusive? Because no one, people saw me and they were like, oh, she's an angry woman. They never saw my ex as being abusive because I never talked about it. I never talked about anything because I was controlled into doing so. Controlled into being perfect. I wasn't perfect, but perfection is seen as to a woman as one who does not talk, one who endures. And I didn't like that. I was like, why is it that I gotta go and be abused and then hence I gotta lash out? My ex hated when I was happy. Literally, I went from being a very joyful human being to being very, very sad. How can you control your anger without having to drink? Because I drank too much. That's the only time I could control it. I was like, fam, I was only 25. I wasn't even 50 yet. She's okay for 50-year-olds. So, how can you control everything without needing substances? Simple. If you feel as though it's overwhelming, back away. Satanama. Imagine this. Hey, you loser. You get pushed. There's a moment when you want to lash out. 99% of the time, remember this, the person who is quiet is the most dangerous human being because you hold everything in. Now, 1% of the time, the people who usually bully others, they have a sense of what you call external anguish releasing. So they don't really they will really be on the edge compared to the shy and quiet ones. So imagine this. You're getting bullied. You're getting bullied. I'm 27. I don't know what else to call it. You're getting bullied. And now you are like, oh, I'm going to before the you just stated something very, very important. The word I am going to. That is your. It's not. Usually before you lose your mind, there's no word. You just lose your mind, right? So the word I am going to is very important here, okay? The moment you're like, I am going to do this exact thing right now. Satan.